Welcome to Trading Lounge and the European indices, and starting with the DAX here on the weekly chart here, just to get a big picture view. We know we're looking at primary wave 4 here, moving up to primary wave 5 of cycle degree here, so a very significant top here, and we're looking for 5 waves within that structure of intermediate degree of wave 1 and 2 here, and then wave 3 up here with 5 minor wave degree structures within here, and now we're looking at wave 4s. If wave 2 is simple, like a simple ABC that we've got here, then we can expect wave 4 to be a bit complex. We can also expect the correction in wave 4 to break the trend channel from wave 2, from wave 2 on 2 here, so we've done that, so that's correct, so we can move that here now. And the other point here while we're here is looking at the low of wave 2 here to the top of wave 3 here, going to this high here and not this one, and looking at a 38.2% retracement level, or the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. That's our target here. So we wouldn't expect this market to move down too much further than the current low that's already in play here, and perhaps not even through that. But of course anything can happen, but that's where we're looking at the moment with this. So let's just remove that here, and let's just move to the daily chart here. Not that the daily chart's not going to give us much, so I'll go to the 4-hour chart here. And we've been looking at the current rally through to the upside here, and we've got the turn here. Let's move this down. I have labelled this differently here. I'm just always looking at different ways that I could possibly count this particular structure, and it's quite possible that we could count it from here as a wave A, then an A and a B and a C wave over here. That's quite acceptable as well. Not that it matters at this point. What we're actually looking for now is 5 waves down here. So we know that, you know, we're pretty much at the 38.2% retracement, so we're not expecting much down here. So we've got 1 and 2, and we're looking down for 3 and 4 and 5, something of this nature here. But we have to be a little bit, I mean, every market's got its own, is its own individual thing, but at the same time they can get swept up within moves within the US markets as such. So even if we count 5 waves down here, we're sort of completing here. When we look at the US markets, give me a second to find the S&P here. So we don't need that one. So if we go to, let me just see if I can just go out a bit further and come back. I mean, it's just good to compare them, you know. So with the US markets, we're looking at this structure here in terms of wave 3 here and wave 4 over here, and we're looking for an A wave down, and we're looking for our B wave back up, and then we're looking for 5 waves down. Now, there's a couple of things here that that we need to basically appreciate. Is that that can come over here. The move down through here so far, the move down through here appears to be in 5 waves, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's still possible for one more little move down here before we complete that 5-wave structure here, and then we'll see a bounce of an ABC bounce back into this sort of space here. You can watch the video for more detail on that, and then down here. So because it's the C wave here, I'll just clean this up a little bit here first. Because it's a C wave, and in this case, unless we were working in a triangle pattern, then that would be different as well. But as it stands at the moment, as wave C here, we'd be looking for 5 waves down. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So that's kind of what we're looking for here. So you can imagine, and the 3rd wave here should be longer and stronger than the 1st wave here. So when you can compare that to this price movement is going to come in here, and you compare that to the DAX, then we've got to think, well, you know, how's that going to play out? So we just need to be a little bit mindful of that. And currently with this little move down through here, we will take a little look at it. So just on the hourly chart here, it is quite a nice count, I must say. In some markets it's not. Like in the FTSE, it's not, and some of the other markets are a bit rough, but here we've got a very, from the top here, we've got a clear 5 waves here, 1 and 2, and then we've got 1 and 2, and we took it here at 3, so down for 3 and ABC, oh no, in here for 3, 4, and then down for 5 here. And I think we may have one more little move down here, but look for the strategy on the tick chart for that. So we have a clear 5 waves here, so we should get some sort of ABC coming off these lows down here, and then down again here. And this move down here should be quite strong, as I just mentioned before. So yeah, you know, how's that going to play out on the DAX is going to be the question. So yeah, I'm not quite sure. So it's certainly going to be some sort of influence there, but all we can do is count the waves. So at this stage here, it does look like we've got 1 and 2 and 3 here, and 4 and 5 to come down. But when I count this on an intraday basis here, it's kind of like this one here already in 5 waves here. Okay, it just doesn't appear that way here, because if I looked at this straight away, I think, oh, that must be 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2 and 3, and must be a 4 and a 5 down here, then a 4 and a 5. But it's not quite like that. So if I go to the hourly chart here, we can start to sort of drill down into it a little bit. So wave 1 and 2 is quite clear, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then little correction, and then another 5 in here, and then correction, and then down here. So it does appear that we've got wave 3 and 4 in this space in here, and we're looking for wave 5 to go down. So really we are looking in the same sort of movements as the S&P 500, so to speak. So yeah, you just need to be a bit mindful of that. And this could retrace back up into, if I take the top there roughly, and we need to work out where that low is down the low bottom here. But then we could be pulling back to 12,300 here. Okay, in this 61.8, 50%, 12,300 in this sort of space here. Not that we have to worry about that just yet, but once that finishes here, we move down. And then we'll know that we'll be moving up, because we'll see some nice supports on the 12,000 and the 12,100. But try not, if you've made money in this, try not to lose it in this first A and B here, because it might be a trap. The trend is pretty strong to the downside. That's the other point, isn't it? It's, you know, there's always a beginning, a middle, and an end, and this is really picking up speed here. So we need to be really mindful how this goes through here. So let's just go to the tick chart here. I'll just put it on 1,000 here, just to get a bit more in. So we've got wave 3 and 4 here. Like I said before, it's a very sort of, I mean, it looks quite big here and satisfactory here, but on that 1 hour chart and daily chart, it becomes sort of nearly invisible in a way. But the count here, we've got 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2, and 5 waves here for the third wave. I think this is the ABC for the fourth here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even though we didn't make a new low below here, I think that's still the case. If I have made a mistake, then all of this will be an A wave to here, a B wave to here, and a C wave to here. But either way I look at it, we're pretty much there already. Let me just, okay, there's still, we can still get, I can't draw on this side of the tick chart, but we can still get 5 waves up here. So if I move that up here and that here, all right, I know I've counted that differently, right, okay, that's okay. Oh yeah, no, that's all right, yeah. So, look, any short trades here, let's just talk, there can be another little move up here, okay, but any short trades here can be taken from the midpoint here. The midpoint is the 12,050, so if that becomes the retested resistance, then you can short down from that point here. I mean, even if this low here is breached, you could probably take that. Let me just have a little look on 20 ticks here, just while I'm here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you can short that low here because I mean it can build up from there. This could be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, and then up for 1, back for 2, up for 3, 4, 5, and up to this point. So if this is breached, this low here, then you can take that. I mean, not that it's going to be a fantastic trade or anything, but it'll get you lower at that point, which is the main aim at this stage. If you're looking at, or setting a stop if you're on the long side, then that would be there. So the other markets, let's go and have a look at the AEX, Netherlands here. I've also labelled this too as an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave up here. I think it fits quite nicely, and I can get this as a B wave coming down here as an A here and a B here, and then the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the 5 here. So I think it sits quite nicely like that. So it's not that it matters now, it's history, but I think that it's always nice to, you know, continue to look at all the possibilities and learn and see where we've made mistakes and not. But you know, it's still okay to have this as the way we had it before, is having, copy that, put that A there, that B over here, and the C wave into here. So not that it matters that much at this particular point. Main thing here is to look at this coming down here. So it's quite clear that we've got, well, it's quite clear we've got 5 waves coming down to this point, and then wave 2 here, and then I can see 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So we must label that as wave 1 here. Whoops a daisy. So I can't label this wave 3 here because it's not really long enough compared to wave 1 here. So then wave 2 here, and this wave 3 bothers me a little bit as well. It's a bit short, and 4 and 5. So I still think that we're still heading down here. We haven't finished, but the problem here is that this is the 61.8% retracement level, the 50 at the top and the 61.8 at the bottom from these current lows here. So it is going to be a bit of a sticking point here on this one here, but we should be coming down here a bit further to finish this off here. But even then, this one is different from the DAX here. So this is a bit like this here. This could come higher up to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here. So I'll just put that up there. As such here. So this is slightly different, this count here. I mean, it's possible to count this also too if we've made a mistake anywhere, as A, B and C here, and we'll just put that in for the time being. It's just good to look at this and have a strategy for that as well, because we need to know at what point that we're wrong. Not that I think it's the case, but so an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave down here. But I wouldn't change trend unless we'd start to see some strong impulse waves up here and sitting on top of this support here at this stage. So even this wave 4 here shouldn't go back and sit on this level here. So we won't turn. You can stay bearish unless the 530 becomes the support. That would be the safe bet there. And the FTSE's a little bit more tricky to understand as well in its structure, but in the bigger picture it's pretty simple. We can have the structure like this. We can also have the structure like this here as well, as an A and a B and a C wave here in terms of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. A bit dodgy, but it's kind of there. I mean, it's also possible as well is that this here, and just throwing spanner into the works, is having this as wave 4 here. So having this down, all of this is a third wave down here, and an A and a B and a C for wave 4 here, because it never pulled up to the top of its 50-60% mark up here. It's more closer to a wave 4 here. So it's possible that we could have this eventually sitting over here as the A wave here, and then rallying for a B wave over here, and then a C wave over here. So don't forget, we're in a larger wave from wave 3 down to wave 4. So we could be in a more complex correction. So I need to mention it, put it on the table, and we can eliminate it later. But our main job here is this move down here, we need to do our best to find how it works in 5 waves here. And also what we can do here is that we can look at the resistance points here. So we can look at this one here. That's in the 50 and the 60% retracement level zone there. Can I grab that? Go this one, and I can move that up to there as well, which is the last leg, which is probably more prominent, is as from this low to this high here, roughly there. And we can see that it's sitting right on that, well, 61.8%, and we always gravitate towards the closest largest number, the 100 there, 1 being the strongest number in the market. So we're going to see support in this little space here, pretty much in line with those other markets that we're looking at as well here, but that's that there. Clean that up a bit. Probably don't need all this now as well. Bit of housework. So our job now is, like the other markets, is to work out the structure that's moving down through here so far. So we could look at this as down for 1, back for 2 here, down for 3 here, back for 4 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 down to here, and 4 here and 5. So still another little move down through to here before we get some sort of corrective rally back to this 72 number here, and then down from that point. So yeah, we've still got a little bit there. So on the, if I just save that, just now it's cleaned up, and just on the 1 hour chart here. So let me just double check this here. So this is the length of our third wave here, but is it? It's just longer than wave 1, so it's acceptable as that. So it's acceptable that we can put, if I remove that, so just to line things up with the rest of the world, this can be like this here. Wave 4 here, and then a wave 5 here, so coming down into this space here. So it doesn't have to be a big move here, it can just come down to here, just had a bit here, and then move up here, so before seeing another move down on this side here. So this move down through here, that's about the best I'm going to get with that. If I looked at this move here on the actual physical market, the cash market, then it's a completely different picture. So get a good look at this one here, how sort of swiftly it moved within all of this. And then if I put the cash market here, that's the top here, and this is a 1 minute chart, you can see that we've got these really sort of almost corrective pullbacks in all of this. And this can also count as wave 1 here, an A wave here, and this is more like a B wave here, and then a C wave here. But I'm not going to go that as 1, A, B, C for 2 here. You could, but this here counts better as an A wave to here, a B wave to here, and a C wave to this top here. So it's more likely down for 1, back for 2, down for 1, back for 2. So this is a, it's completely, it's quite different from this here, isn't it? And normally I look to the cash market here for a clearer wave count, but in this case it seems to be coming from this one here, so we'll stay with this one for the time being. So in the next session, this is the same pattern right across the board for the US and the European markets and so on. So I think it's, even if you don't trade other markets, it would be a good idea to have the NASDAQ there, even though you don't trade it, you might just trade the DAX, but have the NASDAQ there as well, because that's the market that's been leading things high. So that's probably the first one that's going to turn higher with all the franc stocks. If that's going to be the case, they'll get the stronger bounce in that case. But within all of these, what we're looking for here, of course, is from that high down to wherever that low is here, we're looking for that that retracement up here. And I also must say too that it will be if we line it up with the US markets, then we will be looking at this as wave 1 here and wave 2 here. And this is the leg that will be the best one to trade because it should be quite sharp from this one here. So we'll pay close attention. You know, getting this right at the bottom here is not such a big deal. And observing this ABC correction here, there'll be spaces in there that you can trade, but that move up there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the first leg, and then there'll be an A and a B and a C, and that will have 5 waves in it, 3 waves in it, 5 waves in it, and then we'll have 5 waves up here for to finish that off. So if we can count 5 waves up to here, and you should be also be able to count 5 waves within this structure here as well. So we should be able to get quite a nice turning point, and we know the 72 number is going to play a part here. So it will be nice if we can get some sort of retest like this where the market moves through it, has a little ABC back up, drops through, comes back, retests it, and then you can kind of short it through at that point there, because you know it's locked under there at that point, you know. So that's what we'll be sort of looking for in this case. If I can just move that back up in there and then just grip my drawing tool. So basically we'll look for, once that low comes in, that retest there, then we can short it through there. That will be our next position on the short side there. All right, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers. And sorry for being late this morning. I had internet connections problems and a few other things. I've got two internet backup. I got an internet backup, but there was other issues as well. So when it rains, it pours. Alrighty, cheers.